Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today we're going to talk about an oriental, rich, soft, sweet, warm, and sensual fragrance. And that's going to be the H exclusive black tier by no other than Roja, the master himself. I decided to talk about this fragrance. I was a little bit skeptical about it because his fragrances are very expensive, and I don't know a lot of people would like to hear me talking about very expensive fragrances, but I have to talk about this fragrance because I am a big fan of Roja, and I think that his fragrances are just on a different level as far as the quality goes, as far as the ingredients goes, and as far as the very specific way that he creates and blends the fragrances goes. Now, the H exclusive black tier is a very unique one out of his line. This fragrance holds the spirit of the most famous store, Harrods. And Harrods is a temple of luxury where you can find finest example of everything on earth all in one place, just like this fragrance as far as the ingredients goes. Now, the H exclusive black tier was launched in 2016 and it's an oriental fragrance. This fragrance represents the absolute embodiment of luxury, bursting with the world's rarest and most costly ingredients. I mean, when you smell this fragrance, you can tell that the ingredients in this fragrance are just on a different level and the way it's blended. With that being said, let's spray this fragrance and see what type of accords we get on the initial spray. Now, I'm not gonna waste this because it's such a beautiful fragrance, and as you guys all know, it's very costly. I'm gonna spray it on my hand. 2 sprays, which is enough. That's just gorgeous. I mean, wow. Now, what I get on the opening, it's that this is definitely really woody. It's bitter on the opening, woody, and interestingly, it has this buttery or creamy vibe about it. I should say buttery and creamy cashmere vibe about it. It's very classy. It's opening up to be a little bit balsamic. It's very dry. It's musky. It's also a little bit powdery, and it has a little bit of sweet and bitterness to it as well too. Dry sweet, not moist sweet. It's very dry. So that's the type of accords that I get on the initial spray when it comes to this fragrance. Wow, it's unbelievable. Yes, and I have to say, Roja's bottles are probably one of the best in the business. I mean, his bottles are just a work of art on their own. People, they save their caps, and they're very difficult to come by. So when you own a bottle of Roja, not just owning a one-of-a-kind scents in the world, you're also owning a work of art as far as the bottle goes. And it makes a great, beautiful display in your collection. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the H exclusive black tier notes. Now, the top note on this fragrance, you get bergamot. The bergamot, it's very realistic and it's very beautiful, but it's blended so well that you're not getting that typical bergamot type of a smell that you think that you're, oh, it's citrusy. No, this is a very complex fragrance, and you will definitely not be able to pick out the notes. You will just get one fragrance, and it's so well blended that you're not going to be able to pick out the notes one by one. But on the top note, you have only one note, which is bergamot. Now, the middle note, you have rose del May, you have jasmine, you have violet, and you have raspberry. And in the base notes, that's where you got most of your notes in this fragrance, which is a lot of notes. As you know, Roja uses a lot of notes. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he works with all these notes and makes it come out so amazing, but somehow he does. So the base notes, you have pepper, you have saffron, you have patchouli, you have cashmere wood, you have sandalwood, you have oud, you have benzoin, you have vanilla, you have orris root, you have myrrh, you have opoponax. I hope I said that right, or opoponax. You have birch, you have labdanum, you have suede, you have ambergris, and you have musk. So that's all the notes that you get with the exclusive black tier. Now, they're blended again so well that's very difficult for me to say, oh, here I smell the birch like the other fragrances that I do. Now, there are certain vibes that you do get with this fragrance, as I mentioned earlier, like it's woody, like it's dry, like it's balsamic, but in a really its own way. You do smell a specific fruitiness. I do smell the saffron in here. I do smell the patchouli. I do get the raspberry a little bit in here. It's very difficult to pick up the violet. It's very difficult to pick up the jasmine. I do get also a little bit of rose delmain here, which is beautiful. I get also a little bit of vanilla. So it's all mixed so well. But one thing that stands out the most, it's a very high class type of a fragrance. This fragrance is one of those fragrances that you want to really dress up. And as it says, black tier, you want to dress up with a black suit. And I would definitely wear that. Now, with that being said, let's get to performance and longevity of this fragrance. This fragrance, specifically when it comes to Roja, his fragrances are not loud fragrances. I mean, he does have fragrances that are very loud. They're very potent, very pungent. But most of his stuff are very well blended. They're almost like a classical music. Just the right amounts for you to enjoy. It's very difficult for me to say. You have to smell it for yourself. I have to say they perform really well, but they're soft performers. This fragrance performs really well, and the longevity of this fragrance, I get about, it's very difficult to say, I get about 4 to 6 hours. So because of that, I will give it a 6 out of 10 as far as performance and longevity of this fragrance goes. But the smell is just unbelievable. And the way it's blended, again, I cannot say enough as far as the blending of this fragrance goes. So I would suggest you to carry an atomizer, fill it up, and take some with me. So let's talk about the projection and sillage of this fragrance. Now, this fragrance projects really well on the initial spray. For the first hour or so, you will get about 3 feet out of this fragrance. So it projects pretty decent. And but it's one of those fragrances that stays close to you and stays close to the skin. So it's a very sensual, warm, sweet type of fragrance. It's not a pungent type of fragrance, not a loud fragrance that screams out, hey, I'm here. And as far as the sillage goes, it has a very beautiful sillage. It has this very gentlemanly type of a woody type of a sillage about it, with the hints of raspberry and fruity and floral notes, but they're very vague in the background. It's mostly really woody and very masculine and very beautiful and very, very high class. Smells extremely expensive and smells just beautiful. So the sillage, it's one of those fragrances that also, it's very beautiful when somebody gets close to you, because as I said, it's close to the skin. So the sillage will do great as far as somebody getting close to you, and also will do well when it lingers around as well. They get that woody type of a smell from you when they go by. So that's as far as the projection and sillage goes. And for that, I will give it an 8 out of 10 when it comes to the exclusive black tier. Now let's get to the compliments of the exclusive black tier. Now, the exclusive black tier is a compliment getter. It's, as I said, very high class type of fragrance. It's one of those fragrances when you wear it, a lot of people want to find out what it is. It's a gentleman type of fragrance. It's a very inviting, it's very sensual, and at the same time, it's a very classy type of fragrance. So ladies tend to really like this fragrance, especially if you're dressed up right, especially if you have the right attitude and personality with it. You will get tons of compliments with this fragrance. Specifically, if someone gets close to you when you're talking to them. I had that experience. I was wearing this fragrance and I was talking to someone, and as we were speaking and talking, all of a sudden it came out. They're like, "Oh my God, you smell so good. What are you wearing? What is the smell? It's so beautiful." So you can get a lot of compliments with this fragrance when somebody gets close to you. But as far as like wanting to go to a club with this and standing out, it's not going to happen with this fragrance. This is more like a one-to-one fragrance. This is more of a fragrance where even if you want to, you have a deal going on and you're closing a deal at work or something, and you're dressed up all sharp and you want to go into a room and you don't want to smell too potent, but you want to smell that classy smell, this will definitely do well in that situation. So as far as the compliments goes, it will receive a 7 out of 10 for me. Now, let's talk about the versatility of this fragrance. This is not a versatile fragrance. First of all, the price is really high, so it's not a type of fragrance that you can wear it every day. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And it's not a fragrance that you can wear to school. This is something for a more mature of a man. It's definitely unisex. I can see a female also wearing this as well. If you are a bossy type of a female and you got your own business going on and you are dressed very sharp, you can definitely pull this off. And also, I would say this will do great in fall and winter. And I would probably say it will do even better in fall. I don't see this doing great in summer or in spring because, like I said, it has patchouli, it has saffron in it, it has cashmere wood in it, it has labdanum, it has birch, suede. It's a little bit like leathery, smoky, and it's also woody, but not in a loud way, in a very classy way. So again, it's not something that you want to do in summer or you want to do in spring. Now, again, this is not a fragrance that you can do at a club. It's not a loud fragrance. This is more for like a special event, like a suit and tie type of event, a night type of event, going to a special dinner with a special person, you know, or even if you're closing a deal at work with your boss or other people that you're working with, and you want to smell kind of important and you want to kind of stand out but not too much, kind of in a classy way, and you want to kind of seem important and bossy, I would definitely rock this fragrance. So because of that, as far as the versatility goes, I would give it a 5 out of 10. Like I said, it's not a fragrance that you can wear it every day. And also, it's a mature type of fragrance. I don't see anyone under 35 pull this off. I would definitely see someone over 35, someone mature, someone that's successful, or they have their own business. This would do really great with that type of a situation. So that said, as far as versatility goes, 5 out of 10. Now, let's get to uniqueness of this fragrance. This is definitely a very unique fragrance. I never smelled anything like this before. It's a very difficult fragrance to explain. You have to experience it for yourself. Everyone will have a unique take of this fragrance. This is a very beautiful, masterfully blended fragrance. So I would say it's extremely unique, and I would say it's something that you probably never smelled it before. Now, it has some notes in there that might kind of remind you on certain stuff, but I cannot really think anything off the top of my head to be like, oh, it kind of smells like this or it kind of smells like that. So because of that, as far as the uniqueness goes, I will give it a 10 out of 10. It's a very unique fragrance and it's a very, very, very special fragrance. And that's it, you guys. We get to the end of my video. That's all I have for the Itch exclusive black tier. If you haven't tried this fragrance, I would definitely suggest you to get a sample and try it and put your nose on this fragrance. It's going to be a very unique experience. It's going to be a very special experience because, as you all know, Roja is definitely on top of his game. He's one of the best perfumists, or I should say master perfumists out there that I've came across as far as blending goes, as far as the specific creation of his fragrance goes. I have a amazing big amount of respect for Roja, and I totally admire his fragrances. And with that being said, you guys, we get to the end of my video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you already own this fragrance, I would love to know what's your take on this fragrance. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much, and hopefully see you guys soon with another video. Peace and ciao.